All right, so every time we played, there was a couple of things that were always going to happen to the Green Turtle. One is Marty was going to say, "Less talk and more music." That's the other one. Is he always saying, "Take it from the top, take it from the top." Oh, the Marty song. All right, look, I'm going to read something real quick, for, if you don't mind, from someone who's a little shy about getting up here on stage, but I'm going to share it for you. Martinique, can I say your name? Martinique, is that all right? We love you. You are a steward. Martinique, you are a steward and a leader in this community, and we love you. So, we want to thank everyone for all your support and donations to help us with Party Marty's end-of-life wishes. Party Marty loved animals, and he wanted any money he had left over to go to Nassau County Animal Services in Yulee. There were about $3,000 remaining from that, and that will go to Nassau County Animal Services. Yeah, that was super kind. So, and there are several animal things on the island. So, when you do that, if you want to give a donation to the animal service, think about Marty. He always had treats in his pocket. He never met a dog. In fact, the dogs loved Marty more than he loved people. Marty loved dogs more than he loved people. I know that for a fact. Right? I won't tell you about that comment he made about that other charity. Right, it was about taking care of people. He's like, screw them. The animals don't have any choice. All right, where's my friend Paul Laurie? Paul, you're going to come up here and say something before we do one last sing-along for Marty.
Thanks so much, Hub. And Larry, if you can make your way up, or Larry, come on out. Well, let me get a quick piece of paper here. If we can, everybody, if we can almost have a little bit of silence. The one thing we will not do tonight, we will not have a moment of silence, because Marty, I don't think, would have wanted any silence from this crowd at all. How about that? All right. So, and again, the first love and appreciation, Hub captured it so well. To Martinique and Josh, who put out so much, not only in somebody's end of life, but they put out so much in his entire life while he was here in the community. So just a few words, and again, these are coming up here from Martinique and for all of you that are in this crowd. When I look out there, there's 100, 150, 200 people. Whoever's here tonight, there's 200 stories. And that's what that beautiful man has done in such a different way to bring people together, whether you believe it or not. And I'll try to get through this without crying. So many of you don't know, but his name was Martin Liebald. And if I had to describe, now I'll say Marty, as a rock band, because there's so many beautiful musicians, and thank you tonight for what you're doing. If I had to describe him, to me, he had the swagger of Mick Jagger. He had the look of ZZ Top. And he definitely had the attitude of David Lee Roth. He loved the Detroit Lions. He spoke of Detroit frequently. But how do we all come together? We all come together because we just randomly coming through a place and we share each other's story. And a lot of people don't realize Marty loved just to talk and sit back sometimes and just talk story. It was a beautiful piece of Marty that I will never forget. So here's a couple of stories that I have that are very quick. A lot of folks don't know, when Marty did stuff on the side, one day he had a gig right across the street from me. So I sat out on my porch and I watched my neighbor ride him like a mule. I will tell you, Miss Lisa was all over him. And Marty knew I was watching. But he took a break. He came over. We sat on the porch. And then we had the beautiful opportunity of watching Miss Lisa run around her yard looking for Marty. So after about a half hour later, I said, you better go because Miss Lisa's going to be right up your ass, which she was. The other thing that I thought was so beautiful about Marty is, to me, for me as his friend, he had several different personas. He was the owner of the Florida house, and nobody tell Mark Grius this, but I used to have the PBRs over there for Marty. So Marty had $1 PBR, while everybody else enjoyed an $8 PBR. Only at the Mermaid Bar. But I gotta tell you, Marty loved that, because every time he walked away with one for $1, I just tell everybody he was the owner, and they're like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. So Marty was the owner of the Florida house. The other piece, and I'm ending here on this, is that I loved about Marty was I used to bring my dog Banks here, and if nobody's seen Banks, he's really, really adorable. But Marty loved him, and here's his second job persona. He was an actual dog whisperer. And we would work that up to everybody on the island because, you know, I'd have Banks, we'd be over at the lifeguard chairs, and all Marty wanted to do was have Banks by the chair, and then Marty would stand over in the railing, and then there would be about 10 women that would come on Banks, and Marty would be like this in the background. He's like, you know, and then he would come over, of course, with his dog bones that were not hypoallergenic for Banks, but he would feed him anyway, so don't tell Miss Ruth. But those are the stories that I know each and every one of you have in your heart. The thing that I would ask tonight is that you never forget them. And I think one of the band members said it also tonight, is don't ever take a moment without hugging somebody, saying, I love you. Don't ever let that day, that afternoon, or that morning go by. Please, don't ever do that. So, on that note, Larry's got a few words. Then we're gonna, Hupp and Ray are gonna bust into a song again, because, right, less talk, more music. And please sing along in that song.
All right. Hey, guys. Well, this kind of started, I met Martinique for the first time going to see Marty. And I was in North Carolina taking care of my dad and drove back one evening, and Vivian and them were here. I met them up here, and they said, hey, Marty went into hospice, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I left my beer and went over there, and Josh and Martinique were there, and I got there, and Lord willing, we got there in time because he passed while we were there. We were holding his hand, and it was a true moment. So on that note, he didn't go away from here alone. He loved everybody here. Everybody here, if you didn't know him, just turn to one side or the other and ask them, and they'll tell you about him. So she asked me to put a few words together, and I'm like racking my brain, and I said, I think the best thing to do is write a toast for Marty. So with no ado, here we go. So basically, I put some things together. I said, are the Marty Madness fans, just like I was saying, we were with him when he passed. And we're going to go with this toast, cups up. All right, all together now. Life is a journey like a walk on the beach, never knowing how far we can reach. As the sun sets on this December day, may the light carry Marty on his way. As we send him above with all our love, may the turtle be blessed with all as he rests. His life was like the ocean, and a cold beer was his potion. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Thanks. God bless you, Marty. Thanks to Gilberto 77. These guys are fabulously talented.